Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Garden of Ethan. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful day, week, since I last spoke to you. I am doing fantastically. I'm doing well. A little bit freezing. Fun thing, and everyone that I know who's been talking about it has been like, it is so cold at the moment, and obviously this is only relevant to people in Melbourne, so I will not talk about it, or just Victoria, probably just Victoria, but it has been absolutely freezing, and we haven't even hit winter yet, and it's concerning me, because I've been sitting here, doing my recording, doing my editing, playing games, my teeth have been chattering. I don't have a heater in this. I have a heated blanket that I will put on. But sometimes it's like one of those things where I'm like, I'll be fine. Like, I'm not that cold. And then I realize that I can't move my hands well. Actually, this is really bad. I didn't tell anyone. I thought it was a really funny thing and I was going to tell someone and then I completely forgot. But I got in the shower the other day. And when you're kind of cold, so you can't turn the shower up because you're like, I'm going to feel great. But I got in, and I think the shower might have been scalding hot. I think there's a chance it could have burnt me. But I couldn't in the slightest even feel, because I was so freezing. It was just thawing me. I was like, I now know what a chicken in the frozen section feels like, because I'm getting de-thawed. Also, it was one of those things where my hands stopped working. My body didn't know what was going on. Basically, I went from extreme. It was a whole. I thought it was funny. But we don't have today. We're talking about. We just got stuff from my week because I had a couple of things go on. I've done more than I usually do for the week, which I think has some fun merit to it to talk about. Also, before that, I have been thinking, and don't hold me to this at all, but I've been thinking about moving location for the pod, which is not. It won't be. It'll just be somewhere else where I live. It's not gonna be. I'm gonna do it in the middle of the street. Because I think it'd be. I see a lot of you see a lot of podcast clips. Why podcast clips? That's not an easy one, actually. I mean, when you say something and then it's stutter in it, and then you think, oh, it wasn't. I was just me. But that one's not easy to say. Podcast clips. Say that 3 times fast. You probably can. But I see a lot of podcast clips on YouTube Shorts and stuff, and they're always I feel like the majority of the time they're chilling. They're on a couch. They're lying. You know what I mean? They're never I'm upright in a chair. I'm ready for a business meeting. They're all sitting back, kind of just lounging. They're this is so, because it's a chill experience. And that's a type of podcast that I like listening to. And I would hope you enjoy, because it's we're having a relaxed time, we're having a catch up, shooting the shit, talking about random stuff. I did say when I started the podcast I wanted to talk about drama that's going on and stuff in the world, and I've never once done it. And there's so much of it in general, but sometimes there's funny. If it was big enough, I just feel I miss it. Even though I'm doing these, so I post them on the day or the day after I record these, they'd be relevant. But when something big happens, I'll get to talking about something like that eventually. I was just thinking, because I see so much on Twitter, and I'm or even in podcast clips about big events happening. I was I always mean to, and then I never get to talking about them. So that'll be fun eventually to get to. But instead, obviously, if we're going to talk about the groundbreaking, riveting stuff that has been happening in my week of living. I was in my week of what? In my last week of existence. We'll start with, I ended off, I think, in the last one saying I'm going to my friend's house for dinner, because I post these and then I have dinner with my friends on a Tuesday night, every-ish week. It's one of those things where you have to you can't do it because people are busy and stuff. That's just life. But like to see your closest friends, you gotta have those things, or else you never see. Sometimes when you get older, you just never see them. So we do dinners on a Tuesday night. It's really fun. It's really wholesome. We go to like one of each of our places. Someone cooks, and we all like obviously pay for it. We do a fun thing. We used to like all pay for it, like with obviously split it. And we used to do this thing where we'd just obviously just all like transfer. And then we got one of those apps where it's like it splits it for you and you figure it out. And the way we've done it now is it's kind of happened of just the person's kind of like who's in the most debt kind of pays for the whole dinner, and then it balances, and then someone else is in debt, and it's always just like no one's ever gonna. It's kind of interesting because it's like I won't pay for like 3 weeks and then I pay for all of it, which is just, I don't know, it's interesting and it's weird and it's fun. But we went to my friend's house and we usually do a craft or an activity. We used to like watch TV and movies and stuff, but then I was like, why are we hanging out? Like we could watch something at home, you know what I mean? And it's a fun to like do something. And like I don't have TikTok anymore, but they still see a lot of those, crafts and drawing competition and things that people do with their friends, which is like really cool. And it's a good thing to like be able to talk, have a bit of competition, a bit of like goofiness. So we've been doing a lot of those, which is fun. We've been doing a lot of like, you draw, someone else like does the next bit, and you like each get like 10 minutes. And saying that, none of us are artists. We are not artists. We suck, and they all turn out not horrible, but not great. I think that's half the fun of it is, or especially watching who's going to destroy a somewhat mediocre drawing or like painting or text the thing, and who's going to completely fuck it up so much, which is always fun. And I tweeted about this last week because I just thought it was a fun thing that I haven't done in many years. What activity did we do last week? For half of our night, for a good, I'm gonna say like 2 hours. This makes us sound like absolute children, but very underrated. We played hide and seek, and oh my god, was it so much fun. I was like, as an adult, we don't always get to go back and do those fun things. Find yourself a group of friends that get to play that fun shenanigan, just bullshit. It's just absolute pure joy. Nothing about anything. Hide and seek is the shit. It was so fun. We played for a very long time. It ended up turning into sardines, which is the one where it's like you don't all hide and one seeks. It's one hides, everyone seeks, and then they hide with them, which was a lot of fun too. I spent a lot of time back in the closet, in closets, hiding behind things, face staring at a wall for like a good, 20 minutes. There was one that I was in a cupboard with it was not tall enough to fit me. So I kind of just sat with like my neck was kind of like on the roof. Didn't feel good after, like felt good mentally and spiritually, very nourishing experience. Physically, not good. Hide and seek is not good. I feel like the older you get, the more, joy you get from it, but the more it absolutely hurts your body. Because I was like, my back can't actually deal with doing some of these things anymore. I'm hurting. I'm in pain. It's 10:30. Bedtime was half an hour ago. Let me go home. But we had an absolute blast. It was very funny. It's also when it switched to sardines, which is, they're hiding. If you find them, you got to hide with them. There's a lot of lying involved because we kind of did it where if you found them, you didn't have to hide with them straight away. You could kind of throw everyone off the scent, be like, oh, they're not in this room. Let's check down there. And then you kind of double back and then go hide with them. And maybe they found out at this point, but I already knew this about myself. I'm not very good at holding in a laugh. when in serious situations, or when you should, or when you're not allowed to laugh, I'm not very good at it. I've always wanted to do one of those try not to laugh challenges. I think they are hilarious. I love that content. Though I think, it's one of those things where in a try not to laugh challenge, I think I'd be fantastic, especially when people are trying to make you laugh. I think I'm very good. But in certain situations like this, when you're both lying on the floor or hiding behind a bed or both in a cupboard together, and you have to hold it up, like, even nothing's happened that's funny, but I will find it so hilarious that I get to the point of I could possibly throw up that I am holding in a laugh so much. Maybe unappreciated by the head sardine who is trying to keep us away. But one of my friends, she was in the shower, hiding, like lying down or like, sitting. So there was like nowhere else to hide because we were kind of behind a corner. So I like stood practically on top of her and I was laughing so much I couldn't hold it in. I kept shaking violently. I kept hitting the nozzle for the shower, and after we inevitably were caught because I was making so much sound, she was like, every time you laughed and hit the nozzle, just water fell out. When you like shake I was like, I feel not that bad, because it was a very funny experience. And also she would set me off too, because if someone else does a little laugh, I will start laughing more. And once I'm off, I can't stop. And every time she set me off, I was like, through the heaving of laughter, I couldn't begin to like do a version of what I am like in that scenario. But I was like, you have to shut the fuck up. I'm going to throw up. I was like, and if I throw up, I'm throwing up all over, because she's sorry for the throw up talk, but if you experience that sort of laughter or hold on, very nourishing for the soul. We also that night we try and keep it fresh, change it up, do some fun things. I was like, charades is also a fun one. I love a charades. I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a lot of Smosh videos and Smosh games. They do a lot of like board games and stuff. So I've been really like liking those sort of game things. I was like, we could do charades, but just normal charades can be a bit. I was like, let's do charades with Cards Against Humanity cards, because I thought that would be hilarious and fun. We did one round. Well, we did more than one round, but we did one round and we thought we need to make some rules, because if anyone out there has played Cards Against Humanity, the cards aren't very easy to. There was a lot of skips because they're too hard to act out. So we kind of like went through them and picked the ones that actually could be done. Man, was it funny. But it was also very hard. Like, obviously you're only like doing like random like sexual cards the whole time, because most of the Cards of Humanity is like that, especially with the single or the easier cards to be able to act it. And to watch someone just like go through and not being able to talk is amazing and very fun to watch. So we had a good blast. I felt like my inner child was healed. I was feeling great. I'm always a child. Like, I am a child. Like, brain of a 12-year-old. I'm not mature, and I'm happy about it. And I was having a blast. When you play a game of hide and seek, and you just kind of go back to that child, it's like the worries of the world just disappear. And then maybe I got depressed after, because I was like, what? Life is so tough. Why can't I just play hide and seek all my life? I was like, Mr. Beast, hire me, because he does hide and seek. I'll watch a Mr. Beast video like once every 6 months. It's not like I'm not gonna, I don't know why I'm like, don't. Anywho, I know he did a hide and seek one. So yeah, love to be on. Let me join the cast. But what else? I was like, what else have I done this week? It was my friend's birthday. And last year for her birthday, we did an escape room, and she kept the tradition alive. And we did another escape room this year with double the people. Last year it was just 3 of us, and this year it was 6. This was the second escape room I've ever done. I found out I really like escape rooms. And I won't talk about it I'll talk about it, but I don't want to say. Well, granted, the amount of people who watch this, and then the amount of people who would actually have the possibility of doing that escape room because they actually would live in Melbourne, is probably so minute that I'm not going to spoil it that much. But first of all, we made it. We completed it. We're looking a little dicey. We only had 5 minutes on the clock as we finished because it went for an hour, and I was very worried because I was like, guys, if we don't finish this, if we don't escape, I will end it all. Because I was like, no absolute way am I not. I like to feel smart. You know what I mean? I like to pretend, whether it be correct or not, that I'm a smart person. I was like, if we don't finish this escape room, I'm going to lose my mind. So we did, and I was happy. You know, crises averted. But we did this escape room. It was very fun. It was kind of 1920s themed. I actually dressed semi the part and semi detective. I dressed exactly how I did in the first couple of episodes of Dead Boy Detective. That was practically exactly it was exactly what I went as. So that was really fun. There was like a couple of good moments. I got a couple of clues, which I was feeling very good about. There was a couple that we got help with because they were some tough ones. There was also this one where 2 people had to pull levers. This looks wild. Sorry, that I just peaked the mic. But there was 2 ropes that you had to pull on either side of the room, and it would pull this plank up. And there was a ball on the plank that you had to sit in the middle. And it would tip, and if it went over either side, it would kind of fall off. And that was the most time-consuming and stressful thing. I wasn't doing it for the first bit, and just sitting there watching this, and they were just all yelling, and I was like, oh my god, and I did one of those things, you know, when you feel like you're the chosen person in life, and you think you're the best person ever. I had my main character moment. In my mind, I was like, this doesn't look that hard, I bet I could get it first go, because they gave it a couple of attempts. Then me and my other friend were like, we're up, we've got this, we will be able to do this. They were like yelling, they were like, ball, don't drop, you do a bit more. We silence. The room was quiet. One of my friends was like, I wish we were allowed to take pictures in here so I could have filmed your face because I probably just went blank. We were so in the zone and so in sync. We practically mind melded. And I was like, yeah, we've got this. It's perfect. Did it first try. I was like, that wasn't so hard. But it was a very fun thing. The concept of an escape room is kind of crazy and fun. I wish they weren't as expensive. I will say that because they ain't cheap. I was like, you know, for an hour of and there's a lot of probably thought put obviously to get all the puzzles, and it was very good. And I do feel like it's worth it every now and then. But to do them often would be a lot. Because I think average they're around $40. I was like, it's a decent chunk of money for what it is, but they are very enjoyable. I will say that. I like feeling smart. We've done, the only 2 I've done are a 4 out of 5 difficulty. I'm very itching to do a 5 out of 5 difficulty, even though we've only both times we've only finished with 5-ish minutes left, which is cutting it close, but hey, finishing is finishing. So screw them all. We are smart. I don't know, they're just so fun. It itches that part of my brain. When we watch, if you watch these and also watch any of my reaction stuff, you'll probably know or figure out that I love to, try and figure out clues in a show, put plot pieces together. That sort of stuff I love. I love trying to, put things together. So an escape room is I love it, even though they're really hard, and with a team it's better because I can't get all, you'll play to your strengths. But it was a lot of fun and I really enjoy it. It's one of those things where you do it and then you don't do it for a while and you're like, they're fine. And then you do it and you're like, I want to do another 12 instantly. So that was so fun, but God, I was exhausted. It was you're only in there for an hour, but you're under full stress and pressure the whole time. And I was just this shit was, I was like, I got home, my friend had asked me if I wanted to go out that night, and I'd already said no because I thought we were getting dinner. But I just got home and I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to think about anything. I was like, I can't process literally anything. I was like, I'm zonked. I was like, I've never used that much of my brain in a day, which is sad to say, but obviously not true. I hope. But I was like, I am mentally exhausted. And then that night, I sat home, I watched TV, I did nothing, and I built Lego that I had in my cupboard for a very long time. But honestly, that was a very quiet and relaxing night. And it's one of those nights where you're like, oh, I didn't do anything, but I had a very nice time. It was very, very zen, very relaxing. I think Lego does that. I was speaking to my friend who is a big Lego person, because this is probably the first Lego I built in, 15, 20 years, because I'm not a Lego person. And I was like, I do get it. Part of me is like, I don't know why I have to do all this work. But part of me was like, it was very nice just, head empty, hand, brick, hammer, bricks together. Bricks make structure, structure strong. I liked that. What do they call it? Like monkey brain? It's not, because actually some of it was very hard, and I was sad because I was saying to my friend, I was like, the instructions were confusing at times, and they're meant for children, and well, not meant for children, but like children can do it, and they're simple picture instructions. At some parts I completely missed, and I was like, how the hell? Granted, again, brain was fried. It's a very relaxing. I get why people just sit down, zen out, watch some TV, and build some Lego. It was a vibe. But my only other story from this week was last night I had my family over. And it was the first time in my new place my family has come over before, but actually like cooking a full meal for them. And it was just my mother, father, and my auntie and my uncle. So not my full family, but a decent amount of them. And it was semi-disastrous. I don't cook for too many people that often, especially now living alone. I generally cook for one. And them coming over, I was like, okay, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to try my best. I'm doing a Sunday roast, a very, big thing. Love a roast. I was like, I'm going to do I'm going to do this. Also, while we're thinking about it, we're going to go on a complete tangent for a second. I will circle back. I've been watching with the Australian versus kind of like American slang that we've been talking about, and that's been on my mind. And then also watching a lot of Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares. Side note, I could do a whole bit talking about that. That's a whole, oh my God, Gordon Ramsay, love it. Kitchen Nightmares, fantastic. Gordon Ramsay, love him. Is in America, and someone let me know if they know. And I think I know, but because in Australia you have, and I assume other places, in the typical restaurant environment, you have entree and appetizer, or an appetizer is probably smaller than an entree, but you kind of have entree, main, dessert. That's kind of how it works. From what I gather, and I don't know, I should just Google it, is entree kind of a main dish, and you have appetizers, entrees, and then maybe I feel like there's a bit, from what I've seen, there's a discrepancy in how it works and the words that associate with things. And maybe I should Google it, but just talking about it and feigning ignorance is maybe the best thing, because I have no idea. I think I've heard something before, but I don't know if that's it. But do let me know if you know. But I was like, yeah, I want to do the whole shebang. I was like, I'm going to make bruschetta. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I'm dumbing it down. Tomato on toast. I was like, I've never made it before, but it's a lovely entree, nice and light. I chopped my tomatoes, added, basil, balsamic vinegar, oil, the thing, did my toast. Put it in the fridge, because apparently you got to let it marinate for a bit. That was very nice. I think I did a decent job. And that's where my decent job, I did a roast. I did roast pork and roast chicken. I have roasted a whole chicken. I've done them both before, and I'd like to say I'm very good at them. But also doing them both at once, I have never done before. And this is the first time really using the oven for a lot of things at my new place. So wasn't the best. I have an air fryer, which I cook pork in. I do a good crackling. I would like to say I'm pretty good at it. But my air fryer baskets are small. It's not like one big one. It's like two. So I had to cut my pork in half. And the instructions obviously tell you how long to cook it. And I was like, yep, fine. But the instructions are how to cook the whole thing. And when you cut it in half, it is then obviously two separate pieces of meat that the instructions would make for if it was less. Anywho, basically, if you followed that train of thought, because I don't know how to describe it, basically I cooked it for like double the time that it actually needed to now that the full thing had been split into two halves and are cooking separately. So I really overcooked that, but my chicken was good. The vegetables were not bad. I think the gravy helped, flesh out the dryness of the pork, but I feel like I did a pretty good job. It was also very stressful. No, I couldn't be a chef. I would love to do that if chefs didn't have like a very stressful and hard job. I've watched The Bear. I've eaten at a restaurant before. I couldn't do it. I know I don't have the chops. Chops, pork chops. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, being a chef would be a really cool career path, but I don't think I have the mental aptitude for it. Just like, I don't know, like sometimes just like, even when I'm watching Gordon Ramsay, when I just watch people in the kitchen, I'm like, you just know how to manage all that stuff is wild. And like, mad respect. If you're a chef, wow. Good job. Like, how do you, like, brains, wow. It's one of those like jobs that maybe if you don't think about it, if you never thought about it ever, you wouldn't think it's a hard job. But I think the more you think about it, the more unbelievable it would be. You know what I mean? And obviously there's various respects of like all jobs and how hard it is. And then it's like cooks versus chef. Like there's a whole thing and we don't need to put anyone down here. But wow, a chef, that would be crazy. So basically, maybe it's just my time management skills aren't the best, which was definitely apparent last night because I had timers going. It was a bit of a fiasco, but obviously my family said that they liked everything. I think it was edible. So honestly, that's all you can wish for. Not poisoning your whole family with what you have cooked. That was, not the goal that I was going for. Everyone survived and left healthy, which was good. It was very fun. I also made a couple of cocktails. It was a good night. It's nice to, see your family. And the cocktails went down well. And I had like 2 drinks and I got a little tipsy. And I was like, holy shit, I don't drink a lot anymore. And I really feel it really quickly. I was sitting there, when you start to get a little bit of a buzz and you're like, whoa, I'm experiencing it now. Yeah, that's what I was like. I had like 1.5 drinks. I was like, holy shit. I was like, am I getting drunk? I was like, at family dinner. But very fun, very enjoyable. And I just thought talking about my poor aptitude in the kitchen would be fun. I will say, I think I am actually very good in the kitchen. It's just generally I don't multitask that many things or cook for that many people. I do 4 people a lot, but 5 was like just that extra little bit. And I also don't usually do multiple courses because that's a wild thing to do. Also used like every plate and cutlery I had and pot and pan. I feel like I'm doing like multiple loads of washing. I still have more to do. Basically, I should just stop this. Well, I don't have anything left, so we are. But I'm going to finish this and then go clean some more. Because, oh boy, did I make... It was like a food bomb went off in my kitchen. But yeah, that's basically all it's for my week. I thought it was fun stories about just been randomly doing goofy things. Cooking, not so much, but escape rooms and hide and seek and charades were just a fun blast. Do recommend, like, if you just want to, like, if you got a group of friends that are all dumb and just want to do some dumb shit, go play hide and seek. It's my recommendation. It's my monthly favorite. My monthly favorites are happening, and currently it's hide and seek and charades. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening. I hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day, week, month, etc., etc. And I hope to see you in the next one.